Yes, thank you. We are going to discuss on the issue of medical reports presented by the Nigerian Medical Council or Association to Justice Omotosho of Federal High Court, for which he took to make his decision on the fitness of Mazi Nnamdi to stand trial. But having watched this medical report and how it was haphazardly presented to the judge, especially when it was disclosed by the counsel representing Mazi Nnamdi and the failure of the Nigerian Medical Association to carry out the physical and the psychological examination directly of Mazi Nnamdi.
Well, yes, that's quite a surprising ruling today. We were served all of a sudden, as a matter of surprise, an ambush with the medical report, which the court ordered the Nigerian Medical Association to submit since 26th September. So that medical report that we were served is dated 13th October. And it was today that we were served in open court with it. So, well, you can say that defense had no ample opportunity to react to it. It was more of an ambush. But nonetheless, the court had ordered further that Mazi Nnamdi be examined by the Nigerian Medical Association. That examination was never carried out, and the order was entered on 26th September and restated on 8th October. That part of the order was disobeyed. They never examined him. So the report is based on some informal meeting they held with Mazi Nnamdi as far back as 18th September at the DSS headquarters in Abuja. They were invited to do that by the DSS. The court and the DSS are not the same. So what we have in court, or what we were served in court today, quite frankly, we cannot be sure where it emanated from. Did it emanate from assumption, or did it emanate from the examination carried out on 18th September before the court entered an order on 26th September. So we were quite surprised, flummoxed, and we felt a bit disadvantaged, but the proceedings had to continue at pace as the court wanted it. So at the end of the day, the court made a conclusion and a ruling that Mazi Nnamdi must enter his defense from the 24th of October.
Yes, thank you. And how it was haphazardly presented to the judge, especially when it was disclosed by the counsel representing Mazi Nnamdi and the failure of the Nigerian Medical Association to carry out the physical and the psychological examination directly of Mazi Nnamdi. It is a medical fraud. It is a medical fraud in the sense that the Nigerian Medical Council did not follow the procedures.
Council through the prosecution. So they serve us this thing today. And if you watch there in this particular medical report, you can see all the ailments they say that Mazi Nnamdi is suffering from. And surprisingly, somebody that has all these particular issues, you now, in the last paragraph, to say that from your own distance, he can stand trial. Somebody that is passing through all this ailment. Having said that, too, go to make a consequential order. Say, please, go and examine him and report back to me. They never examine Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, only for them to come up with this report. Nigerian Medical Council, they should be very careful
for a forensic examination of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is forensic because it is a report that will go to the court and is defendable by the writer of the report under cross-examination. We will go into it and itemize it as it's supposed to be. We will also identify the failure of the sitting judge in appointing an organization to provide him medical report instead of asking for expert, forensic expert who is legally qualified to provide medical report to the court and be cross-examined by both the defense and the prosecution counsel. Attention is also drawn by the publications in various newspapers and television and other social media outlets. Indeed, there were jubilations in some areas, and on the other side, there were misfeelings on the medical report of Nigerian Medical Council. However, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a detainee under the DSS whose health has deteriorated and needed comprehensive examination to know if he is fit to stand trial or not. That was the point of argument. We are not going to go in detail on the past medical report for which they debated and experts examined Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and was rejected by the federal government, of which everybody expected that they will reject it. Nevertheless, the sitting judge took a different step. To make it simple, he decided to invite the Nigerian Medical Council to provide him with a medical report. But there are steps to be taken for these medical reports to be presented to the court. Based on the complaint of the detainee under the DSS, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, based on the number of ailments reported, it becomes important to use the services of forensic medical experts. Well, we will look at who is a forensic expert. A forensic expert is a professional with years of experience and who has studied forensic medicine, which is a qualification for medical doctors or medical scientists to present reports, legal reports, to the court of law. Having said so, he is a doctor who applies medical and scientific knowledge to legal investigations. As is concerned, and the use of the medical report in the court of law, the services of forensic expert is to be used. The duty of the forensic expert is to physically examine the patient and identify the injuries, old and the new. B, to determine the potential causes of these injuries. 3, take photographs, search for signs of torture, signs of trauma, chronic conditions, etc., as may be connected to the health of the patient. Again, it is the duty of the forensic expert to estimate age of these injuries based on their characteristics with forensic size of the injuries while in custody of the DSS from the day he was brought into the custody. Physical health issues that could impact cognitive function, kidney disease, infections, etc., etc. It is also the duty of the forensic expert to collect biological samples like blood and the urine for analysis. Assessment of medication. In his report, he has to gather comprehensive medical history, including the injuries, chronic conditions like diabetes, heart disease, and all the medications being used for the current ailment. It is also the duty of the forensic expert to perform necessary screenings for conditions like tuberculosis or airborne viruses. Finally, there must be examination of his eyes. Yes, I stated earlier that a medical examination for a detainee whose health has deteriorated has to be comprehensively examined, including assessment of both physical and mental health. This is very, very important. The next expert to take charge is a forensic expert in psychiatric medicine or a psychologist who has the same forensic training in his or her field. Indeed, it is important to note that every forensic expert examining any detainee or any patient whose case is within the jurisdiction of a court must ensure that the examination is thorough and timely to comply with the legal and ethical standard. He must make sure that appropriate treatment is also provided, that the detainee is not subjected to inhuman or degrading treatment due to lack of care. It is very, very important, and it is within the European Union prisoners or detainees' health-related rights. I mentioned European prisoners' right or detainees' right because Mazi Nnamdi is a European citizen. At least it is within the jurisdiction of European Court of Human Rights, as long as United Kingdom has not vacated the European Court of Human Rights. It is important to note that it is the duty also of the mental health expert, who may be either psychiatrist or psychologist. The next is how the medical reports are written. It should be understood that the primary duty of the experts is to the court. Therefore, the report must comply with procedural rules and must be accurate and not misleading, and must clearly state the basis of the opinion provided. The report is crucial for assisting the judge in understanding the complex medical issues. In doing so, the experts must be unbiased and base all their opinion on all available facts, not just those that support one side that he is making the report for. He has to be objective and follow the procedures. It is also important to state that the report must contain the expert's qualifications, materials relied upon, the facts and the instructions and a clear statement of the opinion expressed. It must also clearly state which facts are within the expert's own knowledge. It is important to remind the audience that the expert is obligated to sign his reports. Well, there is one crucial question being asked, and this is, can independent forensic doctors who examined a detained person be cross-examined after submission of his report by both prosecutor and the defense team? The answer is yes, they can be cross-examined. Indeed, they need to be cross-examined by both defense and prosecuting counsel. Another question requiring answer is it a criminal offense if prosecutor or judges appointed experts did not physically examine the detainee before providing legal medical reports? Did the medical report indicate that the patient or the detainee is physically examined? These are the things to be identified by the defense team. However, when the issue of examination is suppressed by either the prosecuting counsel or the judge, therefore it becomes subject to appeal. Finally, what is the effect of the forensic expert or the doctors that examined Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not in any way medically examine him? What is the effect of this? The potential effect is criminal offense. It becomes a criminal offense if the forensic expert or the doctor provides fabricated or adulterated medical reports. The effect is that it is perjury or fraud on the court. This action undermines the integrity of the justice system by presenting false information which could lead to professional misconduct. Then how do you make your complaint, or the detainee present his complaint both to the court and, for example, to Nigerian Medical Association? What you do is that you gather all the documents, other evidence that proves that the doctor did not examine the prisoner or the detainee. This is all about the matter of medical report of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If you find this very interesting and useful, please do not the activities of Nigerian Medical Council and also the decision of the church. Let us once again hear from one of the barristers representing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu also, Barrister Dr. Maxwell Opara. Please send this program to the...
You can see all the ailments they say that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is suffering from. And surprisingly, somebody that has all these particular issues, you now, in the last paragraph, to say that from your own distance, he can stand trial. Somebody that...
Please send this program to the barristers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Any of them you know, you post this very program to them. It is very, very important and crucial. However, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, like, share, and leave your comment. Once again, try to post this very program to any of the barristers representing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If you know them, please do not fail to do so. Thank you. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel, like, share, and leave your comment. All we are doing is to explain to the people how things are working within the Nigerian society. Thank you, and wait for our next program. Bye.